This is a video on how to make robocalls for political campaigns. I'm primarily dealing with small political campaigns with a voter audience of 10,000 or less. And here's some real basics on doing a robocall. First, you need to find the voter file. The voter file can usually be found from either a Secretary of State, an election commissioner, perhaps an auditor's office. A couple of phone calls and you should be able to come up with a voter file. Now, what voter file do you want to use? You want to use one that's specific to your campaign. So if you're running city council, you would want to use the most recent city council voter file, and then maybe go back one more election. So if elections are every 2 years, you might use a voter file that's 2 years old and 4 years old and combine those. In these small campaigns, I've never found it effective to try to use a larger voter file. For example, going back and using a presidential campaign to try to do robocalls for a city council. It doesn't work. Try to stick specific to your campaign. Second thing you're going to need is a spreadsheet program. Most people will use some kind of a Microsoft product. I've always used a openoffice.org, a free product. Whatever it is, you will need to be able to manipulate these spreadsheets with the voter file. Next, and if you don't do it yourself, find someone that can help you with it, because it's going to be a fairly regular thing if you're going to do robocalls in your campaign. You need some kind of a recording device to be able to record your message. Many of the robo services will have a portal online that you can usually call in with an 800 number and record. Now for that you probably need to have access to a different couple of telephones. Not all phones are going to work good. Most of them use some kind of a VoIP. So you know, a landline seems to get better recordings when you do that. Never accept a recording that's low quality. Get another telephone, call back in, and do it again. You're going to have a robocall service, and I think this is going to get its own video, because choosing a robocall service has some, there's a lot of nuances, and I want to explain that when I have more time. You also need a robocall scrub service. You cannot make robocalls to cell phone numbers, so you need to find a service, and you can usually do an internet search on any search site. I think the words that I use is robocall scrub cell phone numbers, and you'll come up with a number of services that you can use. Now be careful when you do your service. You'll send them your file. Make sure you send them the entire file, everything, the phone number, the name, the party, the age, and everything, so you get all that back. You want to keep that data because you will use it at some point when you analyze the results of your robocall. When it comes back, you need to know what they did. So a lot of people will think they'll remove all cell phone numbers from your list. Many of them do not do that. They will actually mark what a cell phone number is. If you can't do this yourself. A lot of folks think you can go through and say that, well, I know all 710 numbers are cell phones and all 266 numbers are landlines. But there's about 5 to 10% of the landlines now are ported over to cell phone numbers, so you really have to use a service. Don't get in trouble with this. There's hefty fines if you do it wrong. And then the last thing I want to tell you is that you get to know your state and local laws on robocalls. There may be laws in your state peculiar to your jurisdiction. Know those before you ever execute a call, and follow those to the letter. Good luck in your political campaign.